And that opened up everything inside of me because I was mad at myself for all of the things I felt that I should have or should not have done in my life. And when I realized I could forgive myself, I cried. And in those tears, there was forgiveness.
Welcome to Mind Elevation Health and Wealth. I am your host, Shira Dewan. This session, we have a special guest, Miss Simone Stewart. I am so excited about this session because it is my first podcast interview, and I'm so grateful that Simone has trusted Mind Elevation Health and Wealth as her podcast platform to share her passion as a meditation practitioner. We will learn about the art of kintsugi and the benefits of meditation. She is offering her services to listeners. If you are ready to practice meditation and the art of kintsugi, use the podcast notes to click on Modern Meditation website link and schedule. You can also book the art of kintsugi from the Airbnb app as an Airbnb experience or from the Eventbrite app, as well as her website. You are here on purpose. When we are real together, we heal together. Simone Stewart likes to consider herself as life curious. She loves to travel and she is an avid meditation practitioner. She received her meditation teacher training certification in mindfulness and compassion meditation from The Path in 2021. She believes in the power of one's inherent goodness. She loves the curiosity of the mind and a good adventure. She traveled to India for independent studies. She has spent years engaged in the works and intensive study from respected meditation teachers. She has a master's in business administration, bachelor's in business management, and an associate's degree in travel and tourism with a minor in communication. During the last 20 plus years, she has held various leadership roles in FEMA, American Express, and managed a training and development team. Simone is the owner of Modern Meditation, and the motto is Lead with Love. Her website, themeditationspot.com. You can click the direct link in the podcast notes. She can also be found on Instagram at modernmeditation_LWL. The Instagram link will also be in the podcast notes, and her business phone number is 713-804-4768. We are so grateful to have you on this session, Simone. Is there anything else you would like to add to your introduction?
Hi, Shira. Oh, blessings. Thank you so much for having me here today. Yes, modern meditation. We focus on the mind, body, and soul. We say that we are leading with love because anything done with love is done with a heartfelt heart, mindful, and it's genuine. The Dalai Lama says that the more you're motivated by love, the more free and fearless your actions will be. At Modern Meditation, our aim is, like I said, the healing and the protection of one's mind, body, and soul. We believe that those are the components of a person that can positively change the world. Our vision at Modern Meditation is to generationally change the way we think and treat our bodies. We create an atmosphere that promotes a forward-thinking mind, a well-fed body, and an empathetic soul. Thank you so much for having me here, Shira.
Oh, it's great. And your voice is amazing, by the way.
Thank you.
What made you go into meditation?
Meditation was always something that I was interested in. And when I got started with meditation, I think I was probably at one of the lowest points in my life. And, just at that point before you break. And I hung out at that point, lamenting and kind of wallowing in my shame and my pain for a little bit. But then I knew I wanted to live a different kind of life. I knew that I wanted to make significant changes in my life, the way that I interacted with people, the way that I interacted with my own life, the way that I interacted with the earth. So the path that I took, and everybody's path is different, but the path that I took was inward reflection, seclusion, prayer, and meditation. And I believe through meditation, I think that's where I really found myself. It helped me calm my body. It helped me improve my ability to handle stress. And ultimately, meditation truly helped me find myself. It really helped me understand the ways of the heart. You know, the source of love that is in me, that I have access to, that love that bubbles up, that is with me all the time. It was meditation where I was able to cultivate compassion. And during that process, I've learned so much, and I want to share it with others. So that's kind of what made me get into meditation and want to stay in there.
Wow. And I had asked you before the interview, what were some major things that you want listeners or potential clients for your business, because you're operating a meditation business. You said that you wanted to focus really on the mindfulness meditation, healthy eating, the art of kintsugi, and massage therapy. Of course, we want to know what the art of kintsugi is. So what made you explore the art of kintsugi?
Yeah. Okay. The art of kintsugi. Oh, it's such a beautiful art. It's a Japanese art that's about 500 years old. The art of kintsugi recognizes and validates the broken bits that are in each of us. Kintsugi offers a way to kind of reframe the hardships, and it reminds us of our broken bits. And those same broken bits inside of us make us unique, can make us beautiful, and most importantly, it makes us resilient. And then, like you said earlier, we offer our meditation services. Our meditation methods cognitively reframes oneself to emotionally regulate the mind, specifically in distressing times. Our practices, they center the mind while cultivating compassion and promoting altruism within individuals, and of course, that extends out to the community. We teach healthy eating classes, and our culinary traditions, we use healthy foods to fuel the mind, and we offer lessons to engage the community in health-conscious choices. We offer therapeutic massage. We have a whole collection, and which is just another form, another path for holistic well-being. We focus on not only what's happening above, but we also focus on what's happening below the surface. And, you know, our holistic view, as I said earlier, is the mind, body, and soul. Our wellness services that we offer are customizable for individuals and groups. We offer corporate mindful programs, and it has been with proven techniques that lead to healthier employees, again, from the inside out, right? Because that's what we want. We want people that are well within and outside. And I think collectively we clarify the connection between the mind, the body, and the soul to cultivate a greater awareness of self, and also to aid in removing the mental layers that form obstacles to growth and love.
Yeah. And in fact, that's actually how you and I met. You, I guess you would consider it corporate. You came to our school. Many of my listeners know that I'm an educator. And so our school had Simone come in and do some mindfulness meditation with us. And everyone needed it. Everyone in the department that showed up that evening needed it. We breathed, we did a meditation, and it was just so wonderful. And her energy, Simone's energy, is what like drew me to her. And so I was like, I have to have her on my podcast. Like, this is amazing. And so that's why Simone is here with us today. So yes, she does the corporate events. I got to experience that, which is why she is here with us today. And I really want to share that experience with my listeners that live in the Houston area, because her services are available in the Houston area. Do you travel any, or is you just mainly here in Houston?
Yeah, we can go anywhere within the United States, and we could even go abroad. This last summer, we did a couple of events in Barbados.
Oh, wow.
So it was, yeah. And I had some just impromptu events that just kind of popped up when I was in Costa Rica in December.
Oh, so you were in Costa Rica.
Yeah.
One day I want to relocate to Costa Rica. So that's amazing.
That's a whole nother podcast.
It is. All right. So now we know more about your business, and I want to know more about you. My listeners also want to know more about you. So what makes you feel like your best self?
Oh, I feel like my best self when I am extending love and compassion and acts of generosity to others. And it could be great acts, or it could be small acts like letting someone walk ahead of me, or holding the door open, paying for someone's meal behind me. Mm-hmm. And what I find, which is so ironic, is that smiling at people tends to be the biggest opener for any situation that I walk into. So I try to do that often.
Yeah, you share a smile. In your profession, the meditation practitioner profession, what is the best compliment you've received? Whether it was from a client, what are some of the best compliments that you've received?
Well, I work closely with people in my circle, and some people outside of my circle, and just people that come into the business somehow come into my circle. It's about building community, right? In the end of the day. And somebody told me that I reminded them of my mother, and I so admire my mother. I think that was my biggest compliment that I've ever received. My mother was a nurse for several years, so there's a whole lot of love in that particular industry. When you go into that field, it's like a teacher. You go in with love. You start with love. That's what makes you get in there.
Yes.
And oftentimes, I say my mother to me was like a little angel dropped on earth. She showed me compassion before I even knew what compassion was. My mother brought home people from the hospital into our homes to live with us. She brought home relatives. Our house had people in it, and she cooked and ran the household with love and compassion. So, yeah, I can go on and on.
Wow. So basically, you were put in a nurturing environment, and you were put in a loving and compassionate environment, which is what essentially brought you to what you're doing now. And you also said you focused on compassion, compassion meditation. And basically you just kind of like inherited that generational thing from your mom.
I believe so.
Yeah. So that,
they say that the apple doesn't fall too far from the tree. And in my lifetime, I've had several families living with me also. So, yeah.
Now, how would you describe your role as a meditation practitioner I guess you can describe it in what that looks like a day in your life as a meditation practitioner. How would you describe your role?
My role could be so very different and so very the same at the same at the same time. But first of all, I want to first say this because I think that it needs to be said. I believe that meditation practitioners are healers.
Yes.
And in our own way. And though we don't have the licenses like doctors, psychologists, and other medically trained professionals, I think we're all working towards the same goal, right? We all want to heal the body from the inside out. We want to give people tangible tools to help them achieve their goals and aspirations. So I consider myself as a healer.
Yes, that's holistic healing. Is what you would call it.
Yeah. Because, once the mind is right, everything else can fall into place. I know I need to lose these last 10 pounds. I know that. But sometimes my mind, I'm like, I get up and I'm out there, and other times I'm not. So, it takes that constant work on the mind.
Yeah. And that's essentially what meditation is, right? It's calming the mind and, working towards those
Precisely.
goals. Let's see. So, what is a commonly held belief about your role as a meditation practitioner that you passionately disagree with?
I would think the easiest one, the most common one that I hear, I literally just heard it today. People say that they cannot meditate because for various reasons. The one that I hear the most is because their mind keeps going and going and going. We call that monkey mind, when the mind is distracted, disorganized, and often you have that chaotic feeling going on in your mind. Just keep going, thinking about a list of things you have to do. Well, we work on cultivating that beginner's mind, slowing down and becoming curious about your body. Because that's really what meditation is. When you know where in your body you feel tension building when you start going into an anxiety attack. So, for example, one of the questions that I asked you is, where do you feel tension in your body? And people pointed out various places. For me, I know it's in my gut. So I'll give you a quick story, which has nothing to do with this. But today, I nearly died.
Oh, wow.
I nearly died. I was on the highway, and all of a sudden we came to an abrupt, literally screeching halt. And my sister was driving, and a car visibly and audibly swerved away from us. And that literally saved our life. And we were like, God was like, just pushed the car away and said, not today, we're late. They can't get into an accident today.
Wow.
But after that whole incident, our hearts were racing. And I turned to my sister and said, where do you feel this tension, this stress, this whatever, this fear building in your body? Where do you feel it? And at that point, we kind of paused and felt what was going on with our bodies. And she said, I feel it in the back of my neck. I've never noticed that before. She said, I feel it in my heart.
Wow.
And I felt it all in my stomach, and I felt it because my heart was racing, so I felt my heart just pumping out of my chest. So when you know what's going on with your body, at times we can thwart off things that are possibly coming, negative feelings that could be arising soon after. Right. And everybody can do that. So everyone can meditate.
Right. And you put me in the mind of like chakras, your heart
Yeah,
chakra.
yeah,
You mentioned earlier about a panic attack, or some people call them anxiety attacks. And and since you've done a lot of research and you've practiced a lot, do people that previously have or that have panic attacks, when they start meditation, does that normally decrease the panic attacks? Does it go away? What have you seen with that?
yeah, definitely. I've seen that there is, not only that I've seen, but studies show that people that meditate regularly reduce the panic, the stress in their lives. And part of that is breathing. Part of that is that mindfulness of what's happening to your body. So, for example, when I know that when I'm starting to cry, like I know tears are coming, the first place that I feel it, funny enough, is in my throat.
Mm.
So when I start to feel that kind of tightening, like I can't swallow,
Mm-hmm.
and then my face turns red,
Mm-hmm.
and then the eyes well up, when I start to feel that, then I start to breathe. And now I'm focused on my breath because I need to bring my temperature down.
Right.
And that's the beginning, that's the opening door to meditation, is breath work.
Yeah.
It's what's happening with your breath.
Yeah. And before we started the podcast, we took a few breaths together to relax and to prepare. And I really enjoyed that. And it really calmed my spirit. It made me focus and be centered on what we were about to do today. And I want to thank you for guiding me through that. And I'm so grateful that you didn't have a car accident today, and that
Yeah.
God was with you all and you were able to grasp yourself, because that could have easily thrown one of you into a panic attack. It could have caused a more emotional trauma. But I get a sense that since you and your sister both practice meditation, correct?
She has recently started her journey, and it's so beautiful because now I see her kind of bubbling over with the same excitement, like, oh my gosh, if I just breathe, if I could take a moment, if I'm silent, I see that same excitement, and it's just beautiful.
It
Yeah.
is. And I know what you're talking about when you say that, because I can remember where I I used to be a skeptic about breathing until I
Hmm.
started actually practicing it myself. And I would just tell myself, Shira, stop and breathe. And now,
Yeah.
like some mornings when I'm rushing in the morning to work, I'll finally make it to work and I'll get to my desk and I'm like, oh, I still got to go sign in. But I'll stop and I'll take some breaths and I'll bring myself back down. And before, I probably would have just, stressed myself out even more that day instead of bringing myself back down. And I think many times, a lot of us that haven't learned how to manage our stress and are still just running like nonstop with all this extra stress and all this extra pain, which we know causes even more health issues within us. I'm grateful for learning that technique. So one thing that I want my listeners to understand, which is why it's so important for Simone to be with us today, is to understand that it is way deeper that we can even imagine when we focus on our breaths, our mindfulness, and meditation. So once again, we're grateful.
Thank you, Shira. Pleasure
What
being here.
what is something people in the meditation industry should start or stop doing? You just choose whichever one you want to focus on.
Well, you were talking earlier about trauma, and trauma is so real, so real in so many people for many different reasons. And I think there are good intentions with people that are offering online meditations, but I think that if you have some type of meditation training or certification, that may be a little bit better. Guided meditations can, at times, depending on what that person is saying, it can uncover or stir up feelings that the person listening to the meditation may not be prepared to handle at that time, and they may need additional support. There's a fine line with the person that teaches meditation, or I shouldn't say fine line, there's a thick line with the person that teaches meditation and the person that's a psychiatrist. Wow. And we are not the same. So getting that additional support may be necessary for some people that are new to meditation, that are just jumping in and they're hearing it from a person who hasn't been trained to guide.
So what I'm hearing you say is, because I feel like I'm that person that I turn on a guided meditation at night to help me get to sleep, which, by the way, has helped me sleep or help me fall asleep on my own without any type of alternative sleep aid, if you know what I'm talking about. So
yes, I do.
I'm hearing you say having a meditation practitioner in person helping to guide you through some of this trauma with meditation can be way more beneficial than just turning on some random guided meditation, correct?
It can be, but also if you're experiencing severe bouts of depression and trauma, you might need more help than just a meditation practitioner. You might want to consider getting additional support. You know, meditation is great, and it's a tool that can be used to aid in the healing of the mind. But there are other tools that meditation can't offer that are necessary.
Right. And so as a meditation practitioner, when you have someone that you are providing service for, it sounds like you recognize it and you would refer them to.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. People are talking about suicidal thoughts and things of that nature. Meditation can support the process, but you need to speak to a professional.
Right. They need more help. And then I think like after they do seek that help, meditation can still be there to support them through the continuous process of healing, correct?
It absolutely should be there.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. I have personally sat through a meditation, and on numerous, especially when it's in person, as I was at a retreat and I sat through a meditation, and I was just bawling, crying, nonstop. It unleashed and released things in me that needed to come out at that moment.
You actually did your independent study in India.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So when you traveled to India, was that a healing journey for you while you were doing the independent study? Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, India is such a spiritual country in so many ways. The different deities, the temples, the people. It's just like there's a hum there that has a spiritual undertone to it. And going there, I was able to witness and be a part of so many different ceremonies, and it was a life-changing experience in so many ways. I mean, that's again is a whole nother podcast. It was just so different.
That was part of your journey.
Yes.
Yeah.
Definitely a part of the journey.
And when you experienced the crying and bawling, was someone there to guide you through it?
Yeah, well, this is on a completely separate and different occasion. There's these silent retreats that you go on where you meditate all day, and there's no electronics at all. There's no books. There's no music. There's you and your thoughts. There's no talking. It's silence. But there are people that, meditation trainers, and the wonderful and brilliant Joanna Hardy was there, and Ruth King was there, and she's another brilliant mind and a wonderful meditation practitioner. And I was listening to a talk. Now, they're there and they can talk, but the people that are attending, we listen. And they were talking specifically about forgiveness of self. And now you're going to make me start crying again, Shy.
This is a safe space. This is a safe space.
Okay. And, how we readily and often forgive others, but we walk around and don't forgive ourselves for maybe the shame and the hurt that we put ourselves through. And I don't know why nobody told me that before. Yeah. I could forgive myself like I forgive others.
Self-compassion.
Compassion for self first.
Yes.
And that opened up everything inside of me because I was mad at myself for all of the things I felt that I should have or should not have done in my life. And when I realized I could forgive myself, I cried. And in those tears, there was forgiveness. Yeah.
Yeah. Self-compassion, that in itself, you're right. No one teaches us that. It's always forgive this person for hurting you. Forgive that person for the pain they caused. But we forget that we also have to do that for ourselves.
Yeah. Most important.
The most important. What do you wish your younger self knew about your current profession?
I wish my younger self, I wish I had trusted my intuition more. I wish I trusted myself more. I thought I had to kind of fight my way through life. Everything had to be a fight. And the moment I stopped fighting and I let go of the notion that I was in control of anything I had control of. I'm barely holding on to control of myself. I was free. I am free. The universe provides me with everything that I need.
So there was freedom in that.
Absolute freedom. Oh my goodness. When you stop trying to be in control of things, people, animals, outcomes, there's such freedom.
Yeah. It is. Ooh, if we could have known those things when we were younger.
Yeah.
I think working with teenagers in a high school level, when you talk about these things to the young mind, they sometimes still don't grasp it. But I always say I plant the seed. When you plant a seed, it eventually may grow with the right nurturing. So I always say I'm going to plant the seed in these young minds. And hopefully, if it doesn't grow now, that later it will grow and they will learn and understand these things.
I want to let you know that in the mornings, I have a little walking routine that I do. And during my walk, I listen to famous people from all over, from basketball, singers, different walks of life, but they're all famous. And I will tell you that the seeds that you plant are absolutely going to flourish into trees. And those trees will flourish into orchards or valleys of fruits. I listened to this podcast, and I want to say 9 out of 10 people, because they're telling their story, and 9 out of 10 people talk about the teachers that inspired them.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I think that's what helps me continue to do what I do. because of that.
Yeah.
And even if I just help one student, I feel like I've done something. And a lot of my students actually follow my podcast. I have a session over self-compassion and forgiveness. So I try to make them follow and listen. And I not only do that for my students, though, I also do it for my son. My son is 24 years old, and we have talks. And I feel like if anything ever happens to me, he always has my voice.
Yeah.
Even if it's just click and play on a podcast. What you bring as well in your profession, whether you're helping, I don't know what your age group is. Do you have a specific age limit, or?
I don't.
You don't know age limit?
I don't.
Okay, so whether you're helping a young person or a really old person, that seed's going to be planted. And even in your profession, I remember my first time meditating. I did what you said happens when you said people say, I can't meditate. That was me the very first time I tried it. The very first time I tried meditation, I was like, I can't do this. This ain't working, and I kind of gave up. But I always try things more than once. So I came to another phase in my life and I tried it again. And then I came to another phase in my life and I cannot let go of it. I can imagine you possibly working with a client and they may not get it at that moment, but they may come back to it in a different phase of their life. So that's also
the hope.
Yeah, that's also how you plant the seed. So that's amazing.
I have one question that I do, but I do have, whenever we're finished, I have a question for you.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
That's going to be off the record question?
No.
Oh, okay. So we can record that question?
It's the question I like to leave people at the end of a discussion.
Before we get to me, I got another question for you, because my listeners are my champions. I call them champions, and we're champion for life changes, which is why the podcast is called Mind Elevation, Health and Wealth. And I like how you touched on it starts with the mind. So what are 3 major mindset beliefs that make you a champion?
I like being a champion. I like to think of myself as a champion. I feel strong. One of the mindset beliefs is the concept of impermanence. Everything and everyone is always changing. The pain and the joy, not just the pain, but the pain and the joy we feel today are not permanent. Just like the clouds and the weather, we're always changing. I mean, since we've been on this call, our cells in our body have changed.
Yes.
You are actually a different person.
Yes.
On average, 100 million new red blood cells are being formed in our body every minute. So we're constantly changing. So that's the very first one, is the concept of impermanence. So when you're feeling like today's a rough day, just know, and we hear this all the way every day, tomorrow's a better day. Nothing is permanent. Another mindset belief that I like, and I wholeheartedly believe in leading with love. Because like I said earlier, anything done with love is genuine, heartfelt, and mindful.
Yes.
And I think that there's so many other things that I believe in, but you asked me for 3. Yes. I think I also like to champion the belief that at our most profound level, we're all interconnected, and that not one thing exists in isolation. The breath that you breathe in is the same breath that somebody just exhaled. So we're all tied to each other. And we know that anytime breath goes out of our body, so does little particles of ourselves. So I have a little bit of you inside of me. You have a little bit of me inside of you. And so is the circle of life. You know, the plants, we need them to help us breathe.
Breathe, yeah.
So
yeah, you told me about that before, because that was one thing I never even thought about or considered. And it's so amazing to think about things that way. When we're in the same room, we're breathing the same air. We know this, but just to think of it, of how we are connected, just takes that on a whole nother level.
Yeah.
We are all connected.
I mean, Martin Luther King had a quote that I don't want to mess up, but it said something to the effect that, you know, I'll never be what I ought to be unless you are what you ought to be. Something to that effect. So we all, I mean, we could see the effects or feel the effects of bombings in the Ukraine and Russia. I mean, our hearts go out to those people, and we feel that deep within us when we see the death and destruction happening, you know?
Yes.
So saying that we're not connected, but yet we feel that deep sense of connection, it's hard not, you can't say that, you know?
Right.
We're connected to each other.
We are all connected.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm ready for my question.
Let's see. I have two ways that I can answer it, and I can throw out both of the questions, and you can answer in either way that you want. When you leave the room, how do you want to be remembered? Or when you leave the earth, how do you want to be remembered?
I can answer both.
You can answer both.
Okay.
One, however you want to answer it.
Okay. When I leave the room, I want to be remembered as the person that made someone either laugh or smile. I always want to bring good energy when I walk into the room. So, of course, I want to leave good energy when I walk out of the room. And when I leave the earth, like when I leave.
When you've gone to the other side,
okay.
How do you want to be remembered?
When I'm gone to the other side, I want to be remembered as a person that was advocate for just positive life change and growth and elevation and inspiration and healing as well. So I just want to be remembered in that sense. And I think that's also another reason why I started recording my podcast, is so that I can leave that legacy of healing and growth and elevation. So yeah, that's how I would want to leave.
Good. So now we work every day towards that.
Yes. Love. Leading with love.
Leading with love. Yeah.
Yes. So yeah, I'm going to lead with love and I'm going to leave with love. How about that? That's what I'm going to do. So yeah, that's what I think I'll do. Yeah, that was great. So once again, you all can think about how you are going to start your journey of meditation, and where, if you want to start with the right place, go to Simone's website is themeditationspot.com. That's the meditation meditation spot spot.com. And then also follow her on Instagram at Modern Meditation. That's MODERN MEDITATION, then an underscore LWL. And once again, both of those links will be in my podcast notes for you to click on and go directly there. And you are located in
the Rosenberg area?
The Rosenberg, Texas area. Mm-hmm. So that would be south
Right outside of Sugarland.
Yeah, right outside of Sugarland. If you're from Houston, that's kind of southwest.
Southwest.
Yeah,
Yeah.
southwest side, southwest. So I'm all the way on the north side, but I will be willing to make that journey because I love making commutes to the meditation spot. The focus is, I'm going to repeat those: mindfulness meditation, healthy eating, the art of kintsugi, and massage therapy. All of those services in one.
Correct.
And so if you want to sign up, you can either sign up for meditation or you can sign up for health. How do we do this if we want to?
Yeah. Yeah. You can sign up on the website. You can give me a call if you want to do. We do events. So we do parties. Kintsugi at a party is just beautiful. So you can sign up and we can come to you if you have an event at your house, or you can come here into our meditation studio. We have a meditation studio and a healing center.
So do you do retreats also? Like, do you do the silence retreat?
I am going to start retreats. I am in the planning, now that you asked. Thank you so much.
Please
starting a wellness retreat in Costa Rica.
Oh, okay.
A 5-day wellness retreat. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Because I will go. I will sign up.
Yeah. And everything that we do here at Modern Meditation we'll be doing at the retreat, but on a different scale.
Wow. Okay. So you heard it. Just go to the website, sign up for whatever you want to sign up for. Everything is listed on the website for signing up. And the massage therapy, art of kintsugi, I definitely am wanting to do that and plan that. And then massage therapy, how do you tie those all in?
Massage therapy can be done here.
Okay.
Or it can be done at your house also.
Okay.
We have a licensed massage therapist that travels anywhere in the Houston area or outside of the Houston area.
Okay.
And we offer various types of therapeutic massages.
And the healthy eating, that's a class?
It is. We offer culinary lessons on how to create delicious dishes with healthy and nutritious foods. Just awesome. Think of a cabbage, right? So you have the ordinary cabbage for people that love cabbage. And a cabbage can be done, and it's economical, so they're not expensive. And you can make coleslaw. My favorite would be cook it down with like a little bit of curry.
Yes. You
can roast it. You can grill it. If you want, which is not recommended by us, you can fry it. Yes. But cabbage, that one little cabbage can be done into so many ways.
Yes.
And we teach you little tricks like that, how to make the most out of the food, just your regular foods in the grocery store.
Yeah, I love that. I have plant-based eating habits. Yeah, that's...
So do we.
Yeah, healthy eating. This is amazing. And I am so glad that you are here in the close area and that you can change people's mindset on meditation. Yes, everyone can do meditation. So that whole thing about I can't meditate is not true. It's just that you gave up on it. You can do it with the right practitioner. You can practice meditation.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much, Simone, for your time. Thank you for sharing with us. Thank you for leading with love for us. And Mind Elevation Health and Wealth is so grateful to have you as our first interview. So this is amazing for me. I'm so excited about it. So grateful. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Shai. Thank you, Shira. It was a pleasure.
All right. Let's relax and breathe. Breathe in love. Breathe out love. Breathe in peace. Breathe out peace. Breathe in love. Share love. Now, share this podcast to help someone you love. We are now champions for life changes. If you are ready to practice meditation and the art of kintsugi, use the podcast notes to click on Modern Meditation website link and schedule. You can also book the art of kintsugi from the Airbnb app as an Airbnb experience or from the Eventbrite